So you might have found my channel from the Break 80 or Break 90 or even Break 100 video, and maybe you haven't achieved that elusive scoring barrier. Well, if that's the case, this video is for you. So in this video, I'm gonna talk about a few things I've never talked about in any of my videos that are pretty important to shooting your best scores. So I didn't hit that drive perfect, and we're never gonna hit perfect shots. The question is, how do you respond to the shots that you hit that are less than perfect? Because there's gonna be a lot of them. I remember being a kid, maybe 14 years old, 15 years old, and there was a gentleman by the name of Roger that I golfed with. He was a very, very interesting character. During a particularly bad day on the golf course, he told me, "You know why you're playing bad?" I said, "Why is that, Raj?" He said, "You're not having any fun." And since that day, as a teenager, I made a decision that every day on the golf course, I was gonna have fun. I've played golf with a lot of good players and a lot of long hitters. I played with a guy who hit a drive over 400 yards in a tournament. Outdrove me by 185 yards. I could try to swing harder, but I think it's important to know your limitations and not let what anyone else on the golf course is doing affect you. I've got 141 yards, so I hit a 210-yard drive. Does that bother me? Does that affect me? Do I care that my playing competitor is 95 yards past me and only 45 yards off the green? No. I know my limitations. I work within what I can do, and I try to hit the best shots I can hit, make as many pars as I can. For you, that may mean make as many bogeys as you can. Keep the ball out of trouble and chip and putt. I'm gonna hit an 8-iron. Got a bad lie? And again, none of these things affect me. I'm gonna play the best shot that I can play with what I'm given and what I'm capable of. Safe and to the fat part of the green. You have to look at every golf shot as a separate challenge. So whether you have a good lie, a bad lie, whether you're in the bunker, the rough, in the trees, if you want every shot to be perfect and flat, you might as well just go to the driving range. You know, I've seen golfers complain about different situations on the course. I see posts on Facebook groups saying you should be able to drop it if it's in the divot. You should be able to get free relief if it's in a worn area around the green. These are all the challenges that we face when we play golf. And your attitude is going to be so important. I hit some of my best shots out of the middle of divots in the middle of the fairway. I think another important thing is confidence. If you hit a certain shot on the golf course, does it surprise you a little bit or is it expected? If I duff a shot, I would be a little surprised because I have confidence that I'm not going to duff a shot. But on the same note, I'm going to have a good attitude where that is not going to bother me. Now, if you expect to duff that shot, then you have no confidence, which means you have to practice those shots. Now, one thing that could help you setting up to your shot the same way every time, getting in the right frame of mind by having a set pre-shot routine. Now, you guys rarely see my pre-shot routine because I'm always doing cuts in the video to make them go a little quicker. I don't want to bore you to death, but your pre-shot routine needs to be the same. It needs to be fairly quick. You don't want to be standing over the ball for a minute, then nobody's going to like you. My pre-shot routine is going to be putting the ball in the ground. I stand behind the ball. I take a practice swing. I walk behind it. I pick out a line that I want the ball to start on, and then I walk into the shot. I set up, I do a couple waggles, set my feet, and then I hit the ball. Setting some consistency in your pre-shot routine gets you in the right frame of mind. Basically, once that pre-shot routine starts, that's when that focus changes to the task at hand. Now, another thing that's extremely important, guys, is staying in the moment. If I just made a birdie on the last hole or a bogey on the last hole, I have to put that behind me and again, focus on the task at hand. We don't want to be scorecard watching when we're trying to reach our goals. We want to stay present in the moment, not thinking about the last hole or the next hole. This video is brought to you by Golf Ball Planet. Golf Ball Planet has been the #1 supplier of used golf balls since 1997. They have an extensive selection of all the top quality premium brands. To get top quality golf balls without breaking the bank, you should check out Golf Ball Planet. You can save 18% by using the code MSH18. I'll also put a link in the description. You ever stand over a shot and can't make up your mind, can't decide what kind of shot you want to hit, or can't decide what club you want to hit? At some point you have to make a swing, but we need to work as hard as we can at hitting a shot that we can commit to. If you're trying a tough shot or a tough hook around a tree or something that you're uncomfortable with or that you haven't practiced, it's not the time to practice it on the golf course, even if that means punching it out in the fairway. I've got 168 yards here. Now, I'm between a 5 and a 4 hybrid, but I would have a hard time committing to that 4 hybrid because there's trouble over the green. I would be a little concerned with hitting it long. So hitting a 5 hybrid, I can commit to it and hit it as hard as I want without any fear of it going long. And if I mishit it and leave it short, what's the worst can happen? Bogey. It felt good. It may or may not be there, but I committed to the shot. You're not going to believe this next tip is to distract yourself. That's right, distract yourself. Most of my viewers are in their 50s, 60s, 70s, and you guys remember Lee Trevino. Lee Trevino spent most of the round of golf distracting himself from the task at hand. But when Lee got ready to stand over the ball and he got ready to hit that big sweeping cut shot, he was ready to hit it. You guys remember him throwing the snake on Jack Nicklaus in the playoff. He drove Jack crazy, but he did a good job distracting himself because golf could be fatiguing. If you spend 4 hours thinking, it'll wear you out. I completely forgot about that putt already. One thing my buddy Tom is great at is preparing for a round. And if you have a round that's important to you, I think you should prepare for success. What kind of landing areas do you have? What kind of tee shots are you going to have to hit? What kind of shots are you going to need around the green? All those things are essential to feeling more confident and more prepared when you step on the golf course. What is home course advantage? All that is preparing for the task at hand. If a person plays a course all the time, they're naturally prepared for it. You play a little better. Preparing for success. So guys, I think sometimes we make this game a little harder than it needs to be. You know, I recently had a viewer of my 6 hybrid versus 6 iron video wants to see a video on me trying to work each club. Maybe he's a low handicap golfer, but for the most part, you really don't have to work the ball too much if your goal is to break 90 or 100 or even 80. Is it going to help you get out of trouble from time to time? Yes. But I've shot some of my best rounds just trying to hit the ball straight every time. So I don't think we should overcomplicate this game. The game is hard enough. Got 101 yards here. One thing that's going to help you tremendously, knowing your tendencies. Some people hit in between shots and they hit the longer club better. Other people are better taking a hard swing. So knowing your tendencies is going to really help you a lot in this game. I've got 101 yards. I'm going to hit a hard 48-degree wedge. Wasn't very good. Another tip I have for you guys is to breathe. I think in stressful situations, we have a tendency to hold our breath. Make sure you breathe, exhale, inhale. Especially if you have a short, difficult putt. My next tip for you guys is to never quit. Got 171 yards, uphill a little bit, into the wind a little bit. This time I will hit the 4 hybrid. The other hole, the wind was helping. It's going to have to be a pretty good one. I feel like that ball went left. Have a good time, but still try. Try to learn something from the round. Try to learn something about your game. Try to learn something that'll help you for the next round. And if you're a tournament player, then the line between winning and losing is so thin that I could tell you a dozen or dozens of times I can't even see that ball. I remember playing a tournament where I was 3 shots behind and a guy went double bogey on the last 3 holes. I ended up winning that tournament by 2 shots. You guys heard about the Arlington tournament, to where birdieing the last hole, I ended up winning. And there was another year in that same tournament, par on the last hole, I won by a shot. Now I could also tell you examples where the opposite happened. I was playing in a state Mid-Am qualifier. I made 1 bogey and 15 pars through 16 holes. And I'm thinking, let's just par the last 2 holes and we're qualified for the state Mid-Am. So the 17th hole was a par 5 and I hit my 3rd shot in there about 8 feet. And I was just so concerned with making 2 pars, I just kind of lagged it up there. And maybe it was 10 feet, but I kind of lagged it up there, made my par, did the same thing on 18, and ended up missing qualifying by 1 shot. The last guy came in and knocked me out of the top 8. If I would have really made an effort to make that birdie putt, I might have made it. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you got some tips that just might help you break your scoring barrier. And if you missed my video on how to make this your best year golfing ever, click the video to my right. And if you like the video, like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, Mr. Short Hitter, out.
5 holes to go, just play 13.